So we have an absolutely bombshell story coming out to us from Sidescrollers podcast host, which is Stuttering Craig, of course. Shout out to Stuttering Craig. Love your content. Apparently, he put out this post on Twitter that is going crazy right now, which is apparently how he was discriminated against. And he has proof. He has receipts. He's not just saying it like a lot of these women do out here. No, he's actually saying and showcasing proof. But apparently, a Canadian gaming company discriminated against him because of his sex and race back in, I believe, 2020. It's absolutely an insane story, and it goes to show that this is just going to be a continued problem over time as white people end up getting erased from the gaming industry little by little.
Wakanda forever!
So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, Sidescrollers podcast host reveals that Canadian gaming company discriminated against him because of his sex and race. Craig, aka Stuttering Craig, the owner and host of Sidescrollers podcast, revealed that a Canadian gaming company was discriminating against him due to his sex and race back in 2020. In a post to X, he wrote, in 2020, I had a verbal agreement in place to work with a Canadian company to oversee and manage a large gaming initiative, but at the last second, their CEO told me that it was nixed by their marketing department because I was white, and they felt that it would be better to be more diverse and hire a black girl. Oh my God. So, okay, I don't mean to laugh because obviously it's pretty messed up, right? This is pretty messed up, but it goes to show that the whole, DEI quota hiring is a real thing. As much as they all want to say, like, no, we're just hiring the best person for the role. We're totally not hiring based on skin color. It's not happening. Don't believe what your eyes are telling you. Don't believe what your ears are listening to. Don't believe any of that. Just believe us and our bullshit. He continued, below is the email exchange between me and the CEO, addressing and confirming their reasoning. But hey, it was okay because it wasn't meant to be offensive. And he closed with a subtle ask of how he could make the problem go away with money. And I didn't respond. They passed on me, not because I wasn't capable of doing the job, but literally because of the color of my skin and that I was a man, he asserted. That was their words, not mine. That's obviously discrimination, and it's always set horribly within me. As a person who's running multiple businesses, not hiring the best person for the job seems like a horrible idea and a fast track to failure. It should always come down to merit and ability. And I agree. I agree 100%. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that sentiment of meritocracy. But unfortunately, there are a group of people out there, they want everything handed to them. There are also a group of people out there, they want to utilize certain groups of people in order to get their way, whether it's funding or whatever the case would be, or make themselves look better. I guess in this case, it's to make themselves look better because the marketing team was the one that made the decision to not use Craig and go with some random black girl they probably didn't have nowhere near the amount of experience. Who really knows? But the choice was made to go with Craig, and then eventually they switched it up to go with a black girl because of skin color, and only because of skin color, which is obvious at this point. So let's look at this. I went to a lawyer at the time to see if there was an opportunity to sue for discrimination, keeping in mind that this was late 2020, and the climate was much different, and he told me that no lawyer would touch this. When I asked why not, he was blunt and said, because you're white. Stuttering Craig continued. The climate has changed since then, and I don't know if the statute of limitations is up or not, but this has been bothering me, and I feel like I should at least explore legal action. He added. He concluded by questioning, are there any lawyers who follow me to have any insight on if this is something that could actually be explored? I mean, it seems like this has been bothering him for a while because now he's looking to explore it. But I mean, we're 4 years in now, right? We're 4 years in from when it happened. I don't know what the statute of limitations might be for something like this, but hopefully he gets good legal counsel. But here, let's look at the email. This is where it gets important because then we can see for our own eyes what was actually said in this email. It says, in the attached email exchange, he wrote, I want to be upfront and let you know that I'm very disappointed that I was not chosen to work with you on the redacted project. I can understand not being selected because of my talent or skill, but choosing not to work with me because I'm white male and your marketing team feels like it would be better to be more diverse and hire a black girl is a very tough pill to swallow. He concluded, I know we spoke briefly about working on some podcasts together, but for that to happen, I'm going to have to get past this. I'm all about business relationship, but I want to know that the business that I'm working with is hiring based on skill, work ethic, and ability, and not race and gender. The CEO replied, I'm really sorry to hear that. Of course, it wasn't meant to be offensive in any way. Let me know what I could do to show you how big supporters we are of your work. Yeah, so you see, that sounds highly sus to me. Let me know what I could do to show you how big supporters we are of your work. Yeah, highly, highly sus to me. Definitely seems like he wants to pay him off to some extent in one way, shape, or form. And it goes to show if you really are a big supporter of Craig's work, that you would have worked with him. You know what I mean? You would have utilized him in your showcase or job, whatever you would try to do. You would have utilized him. The fact of the matter is, it was late 2020. Think about the political climate. Think about where it was taking place, right? Obviously, this is Canada. So Canada is super woke in some sections of Canada. And they are deciding that, oh, after what happened with George Floyd, we need to make sure everybody's black, right? Everybody on screen is black. We all need to forgive ourselves for our sins, even though we never took place in it. Every single thing on TV was blacked in that year from 2020 to like the end of 2021. Everything, literally everything. It was insane. Then it says this practice has become all too common. It is not just Canadian companies like the one Craig references that are engaging in these actions and have enacted policies to institutionalize them. America's First Legal filed an Equal Opportunity Employment Commission complaint against the Walt Disney Company back in February. The request for an investigation noted that the Walt Disney Company is in violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and specifically alleges that Disney admits and affirms that it knowingly and intentionally uses race, color, sex, or national origin as motivating factors in its employment practices. Former Disney executive and founder of Amazon Studios, Roy Price, also detailed in a blog post on his Substack that Hollywood has contempt for the audience. He explained wokeness, both in politics and entertainment, carries within it a strong and explicit element of hostility, particularly toward white people and men. And while this approach initially gained compliance through social pressure and corporate acquiescence a few years ago, such accommodations were, of course, temporary. Now, I made a video about what this guy said, what about Roy Price said, and it was a bombshell. I mean, it was insane what some stuff that he admitted to that Disney partakes in. But it's not shocking either, right? It could be insane, but also not be shocking. Disney is a company that 100% focuses on this nonsense. We already know that, right? This is why a lot of their entertainment is failing left and right. And they're slowly but surely trying to come back to the other side. But for the most part, they 100% were partaking in this in 2018 all the way to about 2023 and changed, which is why the MCU flopped, right? This is why Phase 4 was garbage. Phase 5 was garbage. And now we are getting into a point where it's slowly but surely trying to pull itself out again. But it's really not going to happen very easily. I mean, these people, you cannot just go back, right? You cannot go back after being extremely racist by definition of the word in your hiring practices and in your overall ideology, and then try to pretend like, oh well, you know, we didn't really mean it. We're back, you know, just forgive us. You know, we got pressured because of George Floyd or whatever. It's like, no, you don't get that option. You guys are terrible people. Disney as a company is a terrible company. And this company, whoever this is, with Stuttering Craig, yeah, I hope he does sue the shit out of them. But obviously, I know that's easier said than done, especially given that it happened 4 years ago. I really don't know what the limitation is on that, but hopefully he can get some sort of, you know, I don't know, it's just something out of this entire nonsense. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate if you could like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.